Okay, finally, boys, we talk about present perfect tense. Okay, this is one of the important topics for the next test that we're going to have on December. It's important to understand the present perfect because then on next class we're going to talk about the present perfect continuous. So to talk about the present perfect is to use the auxiliary have or has depending on the name or the pronoun or the subject. So what makes this tense in present is that we are going to use have or has. And to make it perfect is because we're going to use the third form of the action. It means past participle. Okay, so to form the action, we need, for affirmative, we need a name, okay, singular or plural. If it is singular, we're going to use has. If it is plural, we're going to use have. And then the past participle of the action. Done, wrote, done, written, and have, etc. Regular or irregular, okay? And for the negative, we're going to use, instead of have or has, we're going to add the negative to the auxiliary. In this case, we're working with have or has as the auxiliary. So not is going to be the part of the negative and goes before and goes after the auxiliary. Okay? So again, we're going to use have for plural, has for singular, and then the past participle of the action. And if you're going to use it as a question or an interrogative form, if you see there is a question mark at the end, well, that means it's a question. And the question, always remember that the questions begins with an auxiliary. In this case, we are working with have or has. So instead of saying have you, the question is going to be, instead of saying you have, the question is going to be have you. Instead of saying she has, the question is going to be has she. So first is the auxiliary, and then is the pronoun or name, and then the past participle. Let's see with examples so we can understand it better. So how to write a statement in present perfect? We need the pronoun I, you, we, or they, and then we're going to use have, okay? And then if you're going to use he, she, or it, it's going to be with has. So have is for plural form, included I and you, and has is for the singular form, for he, she, and it, for the third form of the action of the pronouns. If you are going to use the negative, we said that we can work with have not, but we can use the short form or the contract form haven't. Haven't is to use the contract form of have not. And has not also has a contraction that is hasn't. Okay? So this is for singular and this is for plural in negative and in positive. In negative and in singular. In negative, in plural, negative, singular. Also, you can use a contraction of have and has. We're going to contract have with apostrophe D and has for apostrophe S. But the apostrophe is just for the pronouns, okay? I've, they've, we've, or she's, his, or it's. It's not common and it's not correct and it's not usual to work with the name and the apostrophe. We can say it's not correct to say, for example, Carlos and Jose v. If you are going to use a contract form, we need to work with the pronoun they've, with, okay? We have some examples. Angela has done the homework already. Edward and Emmanuel have came to the school early. My friends haven't gone to the party yet. The dog isn't eating his food. Okay? So we have singular, positive, has. plural positive have, plural negative haven't, and singular negative hasn't. As you can see, we are going to work with done, with came, with gone, or eaten. Okay, that is the past participle of the actions. Okay, I'm going to send you a list. Well, you're supposed to have this list that I sent to you last tetra. Okay, but anyway, I'm going to send it again so you can review the third form of the actions. For this tense, you need to remember the third form of the actions. Eat, ate, eaten. Okay, write, wrote, written. And if it is a regular action, we need to use ed or d. Okay, like visit, visited, play, played. Okay. And if it is a question, remember that first we begin with the auxiliary have or has, then the pronoun or name, and then the action in past participle. If the sentence is Angela as the pronoun or name number 1, the auxiliary number 2, and the action number 3, and the complement number 4, the question is going to be vice versa. First number 2, first the auxiliary, and then the pronoun or the name. Okay, so instead of saying 1 and 2, it's going to be 2 and 1. First is the auxiliary, have or has, and then the pronoun, singular or plural. Okay, and the third step always is going to be the action in past participle. We have more examples. Well, here we have you driven alone to Cancun? Yes, I have. And if it is negative, no, I haven't. Has she danced hip hop? Yes, she has. No, she hasn't. Also, we have more examples for some of the actions. Okay, it doesn't mean that we only are going to work with these actions. It's just examples. Go changes to went and changes to gone in past participle. See, saw, seen. Eat, ate, eaten. Break, broke, broken. Okay, for irregular actions. Have or has gone, have or has seen, have or has eaten. Okay, they have broken, she has broken. Okay, then for regular verbs, the only thing that you have to add is ed or d. Ask, asked. Cook, cooked. Wait, waited. Open, open it. And the same happens with the past participle. Ask, cooked, wait, open it. For example, in the case of dance, you only have to add d, danced. Okay, and then we make this exercise. Okay, so I haven't worked today. Haven't, because have works with I, and the negative form haven't or have not is the same. We have bought a new lamp. We haven't planned our holiday yet. It's a question. Where have you been? If you have a WH question, goes before of the auxiliary. Where, how, which, who, how many, etc. goes first, and then have or has. He has written 5 books. She hasn't seen him for a long time. Have you been at school? School hasn't started yet. Has she spoken to his boss? No, he hasn't had the time yet. Okay. And then we work with classroom examples, exercises. I have been in school since 2013. I have been a teacher for about 10 years. Steph has been my friend since last tetra. Alondra and Mayra have done the final project since last Friday. Frank's done the homework. Have you been sick lately? No, I haven't. Has she been in your class for about 3 tetras? Yes, she has. Melissa, have you gone to Brazil? Not yet. No, I haven't. We're asking to Melissa. Okay, that's why there is a comma. Melissa, comma. And then somebody asks her directly, have you gone to Brazil? And we have 2 different forms to answer. Not yet. Oh, no, I haven't. For present perfect, we are going to work with since, desde, to mention a date, okay, a year. We're going to work with for, to talk about a number of years, a number of minutes, a number of days. So it's important to remember that we are going to work with since or with for, okay? For in this case works in Spanish de por, no es para en este caso, sería por 20 días, por 2 minutos. So remember since and for. Since is for dates and for is for numbers, okay? Also we mentioned this exercise, for example, have you visited Disneyland? Yes, I have, or no, I haven't. Have you won a football match? Have you driven a racing car? Oh, we're going to review this exercise on next class, okay? And also on the English discoveries, okay, we need to work on lesson 4 with the present perfect. For example, in this case, it's a question, okay? Like it's a question, we need to start with the auxiliary. And like we are working with you, we need to work with have. So have you met the new neighbors yet? No, I haven't, okay? And you can check here if it is correct. In this case, okay, it's a statement, okay? So we're working with I've, okay, done, I've done, it's with never. So I've never done this before. I'm a little nervous. We also are going to work with never, with already, and just. Never is to deny something, okay? Okay, if we see the example, it says here we are at the Indy 500 with Mike Rhodes. Mike, have you ever driven in a Indy race? No, I haven't, but I've been a race driver in Europe for 10 years. Well, good luck to you, okay? Let's work with another example. Let me remind you something. If you are going to work with never, never always goes after have or has. I have never, she has never, and then the action in past participle. O sea, yo nunca he hecho esto antes. That's what it says, okay? In this case, it says, guess what? You look really happy. What is it? Mike what? Have has. Mike has just asked me to marry me. Mike justo me preguntó si me quiero casar con él. Okay? Has just asked me. So never and just goes, in this case, just goes after the auxiliary. Okay? But in the case of never goes after have or has. Okay? Well, of course, with just and never goes after have or has. Okay? Have or has, just. This is the most important race, Jack. What? Jake has won ever. Okay. I'm sorry. The most important race has ever won. So if we are going to work with ever, never, just, we're going to use it after the auxiliary have or has. Okay. We're going to practice this tomorrow, okay? And finally, we have here, it's a question, how you, it's a question, how have I told, how have I told many times you, is this correct? How have I told many times you? Let's see if this is correct. How many times? When you are working with how many, how much, remember that this goes together. How many or how much goes together, okay? How many times have I told you you must wear shoes to go to the beach, okay? So we're going to practice this tomorrow, okay? And also we're going to see in next class, the present perfect continues. Okay.